Okay, most of us are back here or forward here. So we are at a transition point. So let me, at this point, Lisa, if we can release, say thank you to Patrick, to Peter, to Kiriki, and to Lisa at the spotlighted area, and bring here for us, for the next part, the IHOW crew, Rita, Beth, and Eleni. IHOW stands for Internal Human Orchestra Work. So we are going to, with the help of Eleni, Rita, and Beth, embark on 3 practices. Are we ready to play? We are. Wonderful. So we will begin with what we describe as the first job of the soul, the guardian of life. And anything actually you want to say before we go there, just an intuition, anything you want to say, any one of you, as a bridge from the journey so far to what we are about to embark on? Rita, Beth, Eleni, please.
So there's a bit of a something to work with. Allow what we do next to be pulled through your soul and just find how it is in you. Don't manage it, don't predetermine it, just be with it and let it be. Whether it's with movement or without movement, just be with it. That's what I'd put forward.
Yeah, and I will add, you just give me permission to, if you just landed on this recording when it was some point after it is published and you're at this segment and you say, what are you all talking about anyway? What is this thing about the soul? We don't know that there is such a thing. Can you prove it? Can you show it to me in the lab? Can I put it in a test tube? Can I develop mathematical formula to prove it that I have a soul? I'll say don't negate these thoughts, don't fight with them, but come along for the discovery. And you might want to listen to the preamble in chapter 1, such that you have a little more context to what it is we are exploring here. Okay, so with that, Eleni, are you going to be leading us through this first job of the soul? So please, can people do this? Do we need to create space in the room for it? People need to get up. What is your brief for us, please?
Hello, everyone. Hello, friends. I would like to invite you to this first practice about the guardian of life. And as well, it's an experiment. And so I need you to stand up if you can, and to look a little bit the items behind you, because we will practice to make some space, actually, to have some space behind you.
And if you don't have the space and you can't move, it's all right. And if you don't feel safe that you can move, that's all right too. Just go through this. If you can't actually join us in the practice, you can do this in your thoughts as well.
Exactly. Okay. So I hope you hear me well. So, okay. So relax for a second and take a deep breath. And welcome to this practice about the guardian of life. And please imagine that there is a blue line that is crossing right now from you to the edge of the planet. Imagine this blue line, it's a line that refreshes, that rejuvenates you, that keeps you clean. And try to see far in the horizon, even outside from your room, very, very far, and try to see this line. And now, please, bring your hands, your palms, open your palms, slightly cupped. And where you are, try to put one foot next to the other, slowly, slowly, and try to make some steps forward. And try to sense the guardian of life How is it doing it for you?
Okay, as you lead this, Eleni, I'm just gonna play jazz with you and help build into this. What chapter one described was that the first job of the soul is to protect you, to keep you alive, to keep you out of danger. What Eleni is now leading us is, as you imagine this blue line, you're moving slowly forward, and in a minute, Eleni will guide us to walk backward. The sense of this is you want to start to get attuned to that part, that awareness in the soul that is forever super alert when it needs to guide you out of danger. That's the sense we're trying to feel our way through this slow motion, forward and backward movement. Back to you, Eleni.
Thank you, Aviv. Now, once you have made some steps forward, now please turn the palms of your hands and also with your spine as well and your palms. Try to make some steps backwards and try to walk on that imaginary line, that imaginary blue line, and allow the guardian of life to take you back with safety. And try it also forward with open palms and look far on the horizon on that blue line. And try now to even reduce more your speed. And try to sense, detect how the guardian of life is doing it for you with safety. And try even to reduce more your speed. and allow it to guide you. And try now in this experiment in your imagination to sense your hearing, your ears. And while you are practicing with a slow motion, backwards and forward, try to imagine that your ears is expanding. They are opening up. And as they are expanding, they are traveling to your shoulders, and your hearing is becoming bigger and bigger. And from your shoulders, it is traveling to your hands. It is traveling outside of your space, outside even from your surrounding. And you can hear very, very, very far. And try to feel if it brings you new awareness, if it brings you another set of alertness, acuteness. Your senses are becoming more sharp. And you can even cut your speed by half. Try to feel what the guardian of life is doing to keep you safe, alert, acute. It's giving you balance, stability, security. And slowly, slowly come to a stop. Relax. And take a minute for yourself to ask yourself, what have you learned from this experience? What have you felt from this practice about the guardian of life? That it is always with you, all the days of your life. Try to feel its life in your life.
Thank you. Thank you, Eleni.
Thank you. Thank you.
As we bring Eleni and Rita and Beth back, let's have from 2 or 3 or 4 voices a few words, just descriptive words of what you feel, what it felt like, what is arising in you. No explanation language, just sensing descriptive language. It's an experiment to sense into one aspect, one job of the soul, that job that keeps us alive. We employed here the practice of slow motion movement and expanding through that with the blue line the sense of hearing, almost like you would walk at night in the forest and you'll be on high alert to attune just in case you need to hear something. Please, Paul.
Tingling, dizzying, expansive.
Thank you. Please, Peter.
Feeling of scanning and feedback.
Thank you. Please, Hannah.
More at one and connected to the surrounding.
And thank you. Please, Denise.
Excuse me. Appreciation and lack of appreciation.
How do you mean that, please?
I mean that in the moment I felt appreciative of the care that the guardian of my life has taken with me through my whole life. And then the lack of appreciation was my acknowledgement that I had not appreciated it in the past.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, Kiriki.
A sense of alive, alert, and trust.
Thank you. Okay, so please, Patrick.
And
a lean, balance, and a beautiful sense of blue.
How do you mean that?
It was just the color and frequency I was feeling sort of inside of my own space, inside of my aura and outside. It was just this beautiful shade of blue that came in, and I was just trying to be with that blue. It was just, and that's what brought the sense of cleanliness and just a good pace and a good balance.
Thank you. And Beth, I think you were gonna...
Yes, I had a very different sense of internal security.
Internal security.
Feeling safe in myself to be able to then turn around and be safe out here.
Okay. Well, the practice is a discovery practice. Again, you can't go wrong, you can't fail in this. It's possible that you'd go through this and you won't feel much in the first few times. Or it's possible that you'll feel and you won't have yet the language to clothe your experience with words, all of which is completely natural and legitimate. We are inviting in this a way of relaxing into the sense that there is an inner process we are, an inner attunement, an inner capacity we are, sensing to, and these are seeding experimental practices. So with that, Rita, please, let me bring the slide. I'd like for the eyes to see that as well. So that was the first job of the soul, and we want now to add that second job, the stewards of learning. Should be a plural rather than, actually maybe it's not a mistake that I by mistake put there not a single but plural. I'll leave it. So it tells me something. I wanted it to appear this way. So please, Rita, before we embark with a practice, anything you want to say in terms of what is the sense we are seeking to access in this?
The sense we're seeking to access, I would say it's something from way beyond when you experienced learning at school. I'd like to take you in a way through the back door to visit the steward or stewards of learning, to a time when you were very, very small, when all of us were in our own time with small children, and everything was learning. It was not hard work. We'd put things in our mouth and into our ear, and we'd put our hands into things. And basically, as a small child, you are a sponge for learning. You absorb, and it is fun, and it is interesting, and you make mistakes, and you learn. So there are probably as many or more ways than there are people to try and keep that natural porousness to learning open as we grow up and acquire more experience. Unfortunately, lots of pathways of that openness get closed through the needs and exigencies of life, finding what we can be successful with and limiting ourselves to what we're winning with, avoiding the things that we thought, oh, well, I'm not so good at that. I'm made to feel shame or lesser. I'm not going to do that again. You know it. I don't need to explain a lot. So
you're describing a sense in which adulthood was mostly defined by the shrinking range of what we are prepared to explore, and you are now inviting us into an experience to awaken, to liberate, to relax into the natural sense of curiosity that is the sense organ that accompanies the steward of learning. So please.
Absolutely. So if you do have a sheet of paper or a couple of sheets of paper and some colored crayons or pencils, or just a piece of paper and a pen, whatever you have that you can make marks with, choose a crayon, and if you're right-handed, put it in your left hand. If you're normally more dominantly left-handed, put it in your right hand. So take it in the hand that you're less experienced with doing things. And close your eyes and place the crayon on paper. And simply allow your hand to start making marks. Just let it dance with the crayon. And as you do so, allow yourself to sense into the experience. What does it feel like? And then come to a stop or a pause. And just have a look at the paper, completely put on one side anything anyone's ever said to you about, are you good at drawing? Are you not good at drawing? Or what you think of yourself. Just allow yourself to take in what has just appeared on the paper. And just appreciate that trace of probably billions of orchestrations of internal nerve and other life. And to sense its nature. Allow it to impress itself on you. Then put that piece of paper away. Have a fresh sheet of paper in front of you, or turn it over if you haven't got many. And take a few deep breaths and just pause to listen internally. And allow yourself to notice, how are you feeling? Or what are you feeling in yourself? Just a little internal scan. And it may be many senses, it may be one. But when you're ready, choose another crayon, or use the same one if that feels right. Close your eyes with the crayon in your less dominant hand and instruct the steward of learning in your soul to move with how you're feeling on the paper. And come to a pause. If your soul enjoys this, you can always spend hours and days and weeks and months playing with different variations, remembering there are probably more ways than there are people to play and expand the steward of learning. But now look at what appeared on the paper. And again, just take in its nature. You may or may not want to have both pieces of paper and just appreciate the versatility that can appear in the different natures, perhaps. And then you may want to take a moment just to contemplate and feel the nature and the life of the steward of learning in your life, what it promotes, what it allows, what it invites. and just appreciate that its life can keep opening and opening and opening from when you're 8 days to 8 weeks to 8 months to 8 years to 80 years and beyond. And keep discovering and keep learning.
Thank you very much, Rita. So let's see if we have any volunteers to offer any descriptive words of what is the sense, what is arising as you attune to this second nature, second brief, second job of the soul, the one that navigates you to forever expand the discovery territory and assimilate what was perhaps never assimilated before. Please, Emmy.
Liberation.
Thank you. And please, Theodora.
Yes, it was so gentle, so soft, so encouraging, and I felt the dominance that it is to use to write every day. You know, pressure, pressure. This was not there. It was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, Hannah.
Not afraid to journey.
Yes. Yes. So the life, that second life, has a certain liberation, soft and courageous, not fearful spark. Okay. Well, so as we proceed in the experiment, let me ask Paul, before we move to play with a third nature, is there anything you want to offer by way of musical entry into the first or the second or the combination of both? And if the answer is no, I mean, this has not been rehearsed. We are not kind of prepared a show and delivering a show. This is completely emergent and experimental. But is there anything you feel you want to offer by way of adding a musical dimension into this? Anything you want to say before you play? Okay, go for it. Go for it. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. So I'm going to, in a minute, ask Beth to lead us through an introduction, a practice into the third job of the soul, the champion of higher purpose. Just before we do, by way of expanding a little bit the web of considerations with what we are embarking on today. two questions, two contemplations to consider. One is, what is a human being? And the second is, why place a soul in and with the design of human life? Well, the starter trailhead to offer to the inquiry contemplation, and I'm right now demonstrating that sense of thinking with feeling, and feeling our thoughts as a way of seeking and yearning to enter a communion with the soul and with the broader potential of human life. So the trailhead that I will propose to consider to the question of what is a human being is that the phenomena of the appearance of human life and the divine creative design that has gone into the formation of human life is that what a human is the coming together of many, many, many lives. Just a consideration of the profound investment that goes into the development and the evolution of a body that has a motoric capacity and can move about and can support itself, and that can breathe in and breathe out, and it has those sensory capacities of hearing and seeing and tasting and smelling, all of which, what I've so far described, not all of which, but a large part of it is manifesting in the broader animal kingdom. But then there is one other dimension. Because most large mammals, you'll find them mostly in one or two or three states. They are either at rest, or they are chasing the next meal, or they have some mode of in-between, just wandering around. Now, always when I will say something like this, somebody will say, "Not true, my dog has 16 different moods." All right, that's all right. So your dog has been in your presence for many years and it learned to register your moods and produce some of its moods. But even then, 16 may be a bit stretching it, maybe not. But we humans, we have the capacity to experience 100, 300, 600, 2,000 different states and experiences and dimensions and feelings and qualities, each one of which will bring to life and will emphasize a different aspect of the inner orchestra of the many lives that we are. This is why we are calling the body of work we are developing with Rita and Eleni and Beth Internal Human Orchestra Work. We are sensing that is part of what needs to be brought online as we are seeking this next activation of human consciousness and human capacity to sense. So the trailhead, the starter contemplation. For what is a human? A human is not one thing. Typically we go in modern life and we want very much to be identified for the one thing I am. But what do you mean? I've worked so hard to build this identity, to build this job description, to build this successful career. I want to be known for that one thing. That's very much the modern consideration of building an identity about who I am. We are sensing that that is so limiting in terms of the definition of what the human is. The human is not one thing. The human is a multiplicity inside a unified system, and this is where we seek to appreciate the second question, which is, so why place a soul inside the orchestra? Because you would never think to assemble an orchestra without placing a conductor. You place a conductor such that there is a way in which for the orchestra for all those different instruments to play together, to play in harmony, to play in such a way that they support each other, such that if in one section of the music the violins are leading, the rest of the orchestra is in support, and then 5 minutes later, if it's the turn of the trumpet or the oboe or the drum or any other instrument to lead the way, the orchestra is shape-shifting in its cosmology, and it supports the new theme that's arising sometime through the piano or the flute. In modern life, we often experience in our own interiority the very opposite of that. We hear these internal arguments and fights inside our heads, inside our feelings. I want to be there, but I actually need to be in a different place. I want to be now quick and efficient, but no. This is a person I care for. I can't just be quick and efficient. I need to settle down, slow down, make space, listen, be available. This has become the cry of super modern life, of always trying to be 5 different things for 5 different needs or 17 different needs. And a lot of the time we are fragmented, we are fractured, we're no longer in harmony. We are, instead of experiencing the ease of flow and the grace of being in service for the situations that we are entering, we are experiencing on the inside the cacophony of divergent needs and being pulled in different directions. The guardian of life is there to support us first to stay alive. The steward of learning is there to support that we, instead of continuing to narrow our range, we expand and assimilate new learning to continue to improve the way we evolve whatever it is we do within a domain or within the broader spectrum of life. And the third impulse, this third nature, the third job of a life that I'm going to ask Beth to lead us to sense, has the championing of higher purpose. The fact that you are each, we are each a carrier of a higher purpose, whether we use this word to describe it, whether we have a clear sense of it or not. And in a minute, practice will perhaps offer us some inroads into that. There is a sense in which there is a capacity built into the soul to forever help that human person, each one of us, nudge closer to something that will brighten the spirit, brighten and energize and revitalize us by drawing closer, drawing nearer the sense of purpose. I believe in the chapter, I no longer know what's in chapter 1, what's in chapter 2, because I'm working on chapter 4 or 5, but I think I've described it in chapter 1, a bit like the game we used to play as youngsters, the hot and cold game where you're drawing closer. So people say, it's warming up because you're getting closer to the sense of being attuned to your sense of purpose. And the one difference from the game is sometimes actually what draws you closer to your sense of purpose is something that involves struggle. involve discomfort. So you'll need to actually now listen inside whether this is a challenge or a discomfort that, oh no, it is helping me become clearer in myself where I need to head next. And not only that, it is telling me how I need to update my internal formation and wiring and what we sometimes describe as the assembling of the human formation, such that I'm a better ready, more ready vessel for my purpose. So that is the sense we are describing with the third nature of the soul, the champion of higher purpose, building on the first two. Please, Beth.
So I feel like Aviv gave us a very nice explanation into what we're doing. Let's find a fuller expression by using the whole of our system. If you can, come and stand. You can do this in sitting or lying or standing. Today, the preference is in standing. And take a moment asking yourself, what is it that I champion? What of the higher purpose rings true for me at this moment? Gather to yourself the feeling of your higher purpose. If you can't do the feeling, gather the words, because they go together. And just draw them in, allowing the inside of you to feel or register what that is. Now, this can be your long-term purpose. This can be your current purpose. This can be the discovering of what you would champion. Breathe it in. Allow it to come through all of you. When your system feels full with it, in your body, begin to breathe it out. How do you take this out? And let it go out into your energy and out. You can picture out into the world, however far out you want to extend safely. And then breathe it back in. And as you breathe the feeling of what you champion in your high purpose, see what words suggest themselves now. And kind of sit with that for a minute. Breathing it in to the whole of your body and the whole of your energy systems, your aura. And again, breathe out, allowing what you would champion to expand and or go out. Feel what it feels like to be out. And as you breathe back into the feeling and the words, see if you can feel both the inside or the inner ecology and the outer ecology of what you would champion in your purpose, your high purpose. And just hold it for a minute. And let your hands come down. Now we begin the work of finding out what that looks like next. I turn it back to you, Aviv.
Thank you very much, Beth. So, just an appetizer, just a early sense into this. Well, can we have, I realize we are behind time and I messed up the clock, and again, I take it as a good indication that my soul is getting more relaxed about doing this in. So, friends, we were going to do a kind of a closing forum and bring thoughts and comments from people. In the interest of time, I would like to ask that we conclude in this way. I'd like to ask Paul to play another little bit of this beautiful music and open the chat, and that whatever is alive with you to share with us, that's beginning to arise with you from today, please put it into the chat. And I'm just losing my voice as we are coming to an end. So these are my closing words.